For years, I've been absolutely obsessed with art style. Is it good enough? Is it recognizable enough? Do I need to change it again? And I know a lot of artists feel this way, and we also hear the same advice when it comes to art style. You shouldn't try to find your art style. Your art style will find you. You already have one, which, okay, I get it. I do have an art style. Technically, everyone does. But the problem that I found is that I wasn't embracing it. So that's what I did. Hi, my name is Widow, and I've been embracing my art style by being a little experimental, at least for me, by drawing these human/monster hybrid characters, and I'm calling them pretty monsters because I like drawing pretty people, and I thought I'd pick a few of them and just go over the process with you guys. So I actually did 2 other illustrations that I don't have the time lapse for, unfortunately, before I did this first drawing. These are the drawings that really sparked my interest in drawing these monster characters. Again, I know it's nothing new because a lot of people do it, but I really only stick to drawing normal humans. So with these 2 drawings, I tried a few new things. So on the drawing on the left, I of course gave him pointed ears, but I also gave his profile basically no bridge in his nose, which I know that technically isn't really a monster-like feature, maybe it is, but again, that was just me embracing something entirely new and also making it a little more exaggerated, because in the original reference that I was drawing from, the character or the person did have a larger nose, which I really found was really visually appealing, so I tried to just exaggerate that a lot in that drawing. And I think it came out pretty well. And with the drawing on the right, this was the first time that I gave a character vibrant skin colors as well as multiple eyes, and I'm not gonna lie, this is absolutely inspired by Steven Universe, and it's one of my favorite shows. And one thing I've always loved about the designs in that show is that even though they have these exaggerated skin tones and multiple eyes, it doesn't necessarily look wrong. So for this drawing, I really wanted to make it feel natural for this character to have 4 eyes, and I really like how it came out. So these are the 2 drawings that really sparked it all for me. So with this first portrait, I absolutely was inspired to give this character multiple eyes, so I did do that. But something you'll notice with all of these drawings is that they actually all have natural skin tones. And even though it is great and fun to draw characters with pink and red skin sometimes, I don't want it to be a really strong part of my style because I do prefer representation first when it comes to skin tones. So you will see that all of these characters just have natural skin tones. And I probably will incorporate more vibrant colors in the future, but I think when it comes to me as a character designer for like a project, I might give them pointed ears and multiple eyes, but the skin tone is probably something that I will not negotiate on. So one thing that I really struggled with in all of these drawings is actually figuring out what type of monster features to give them. So this first one was a little easier because I knew I immediately wanted to give him multiple eyes, but I didn't want to do it in the same way that I did with the first time I did it. So I ended up making 2 versions of this drawing. So you'll see the first version, he doesn't look completely human, but he has his normal eyes open, but then he has 4 extra eyes that are still closed. And then as you'll see in the second version, all of the eyes open and they're completely black. So I think that was a really cool touch. I'm not exactly sure what type of monster he would be, but it's definitely inhuman. And again, I think it's charming, at least the way that I am looking at it. It doesn't look scary. So with this first version, I really liked it a lot and it came together pretty quickly. Looking back at it, I do like the color scheme, but coloring is still a part of my illustration process that I have to work on, and you will see that in the later illustrations as well. So let's move on. So this second portrait is actually my favorite out of the 3, I think. It came together the quickest. I think it's very appealing. I think it's simple. And as you'll see in the last drawing, that one took me literal hours to finish. So for me to do this one, it reminds me that I can be faster when it comes to art. So again, when it came to this one, I was still thinking, what type of features can I give this character? And of course, the first thing I think is pointed ears, which at this point, I feel like every character I draw is going to have them. And as you'll see in the time lapse, I really wanted to give them 3 eyes in particular, and I still haven't done that successfully yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to draw the 3rd eye in a way that doesn't look absolutely crazy. So as you'll see, I ended up passing on the 3rd eye idea, but this time, even though they do only have 2 eyes, the shape of the eye is something that's very different for me that I don't usually do, and it's very angular, and their pupil and iris are like these weird colors, which I don't think I've done that before either. So I think that was a cool touch. And I wanted to quickly point out my favorite part of this entire drawing, and it is the hair. I had no clue what the hair was going to look like, but I knew I didn't want to just leave it just a plain color. When I think of someone with like a short buzz cut, I think of those crazy patterns that like models usually do. I try to do this little cheetah print moment, and I think it came out really well. And now we will be moving on to the last drawing, which this drawing is my baby, but it took me like 7 hours to do. And I know that it didn't have to take that long, but you know, let's just jump into this. Alright, so now we are on to the last drawing, and as you'll see, this one is the closest to a finished illustration, and right off the bat, I had to draw a cowgirl, and it absolutely was because of Beyonce's Renaissance Act 2, like hands down. That song came out, Texas Hold'em, and I said, I'm inspired, and I need to draw something. And like I said before, this drawing out of the 3 took the longest, and I think it just incorporates so many parts of my drawing process that I really struggle with, but I will say one part of my drawing process that has become very efficient is the sketching phase. As you'll see through this drawing, the 2 sketches and the line art all look very similar to one another. And I've become very proud of that because I feel like a lot of times when people do line art or when you do line art for the first time, the line art absolutely loses all of the energy from the original sketch. So I think regardless of what I don't like about it, I think it holds the same idea and energy as when I first drew it. So that was great. Now, before we jump into some of the bad stuff that I don't like about this drawing, some more positive things is that I asked some people, my close friends on Instagram, what type of monster feature to give this character. And of course, I gave them pointed ears. Y'all already know I did. It was the first thing I did. But for this one, because I wanted to draw this like rugged villain type of character, I gave her ripped pointed ears. Why were they ripped? I don't know. But you know, that's good storytelling. Maybe. Then one of my friends suggested fangs, so I'm like, okay, we can go down like a little vampire route, but again, she's a dark skinned vampire. No purple skin here. We're not doing that today. But then once I realized she was going to be this villain cowgirl vampire situation, I gave her pointed angles everywhere. And this is what I'm saying when I can't resist using triangles in all of my character designs. From the ears, the jewelry, the fingers, the shoulder pads, the hair, like everything is just one big triangle, but you can't tell me she doesn't look I probably shouldn't say that on this video. Oh my god. And I think the last final cool aspect about this drawing is the fact that she is the Queen of Diamonds. And I kind of wish I planned this out earlier in the drawing, and I think it would have been executed a little more, but I was still really inspired by Texas Hold'em, and I'm like, how can I incorporate like a playing card somewhere? So I said, you know what, why not just make her the card? I did diamonds because of course diamonds have triangles in them, and I think the idea itself is really cute, and it honestly sparked this like idea of making more playing card designs in the future, and I probably will, so stick around for that too. But now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the coloring of this drawing. I kind of struggled with coloring in all of the illustrations, but this one, I'm just not that big a fan. 2 things about the coloring that I did not want to change is that I wanted her to be dark skinned and I wanted her to have red hair. I don't know why, but I was just feeling a ginger type of moment with this character. So I was like, well, she has red hair, maybe I'll make the rest of her green, which is what I did. And could it have been executed better? Absolutely. But I don't think it came out that bad. I think it's a little overbearing. It's a lot of green. Looking back at it, I probably wouldn't have made the hat also green, but I think the scarf and the jacket green, I think that's cute. And to end on a positive note, even though I'm not entirely happy with the colors, at least I used green and red in an illustration, and it doesn't look absolutely like Christmas. So she's still cute. I mean, I like her a lot. All right. So those are my 3 pretty monster human hybrid drawings, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. And this was actually a lot of fun, stepping out of my comfort zone and just drawing something new and not worrying about how recognizable it is. But to be honest, I feel like these drawings and a lot of the drawings I've been doing recently do look like my style. Is it the most recognizable and unique thing? Probably not. But you know, in 2024, we're not worrying about that. Everyone has an art style. Just do it and embrace it. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment and all the YouTube stuff I'm supposed to say. And I will see you guys in the next one.